Hey there, welcome to the Off Topic Podcast. We talk, we get off topic. It's a podcast. Figure it out. Today, we're going to be talking about, it's me, Joel, joined by Daniel.
Hello.
My co-host of the Pop Culture Podcast as well. Sam is here in the studio. And by studio,
brother.
I mean, I took the microphone to Daniel's bedroom when I came to visit, and we put some pillows and blankets up. Say hi, Sam.
Hi.
Good. Becca's here, creeping from the shadows. Say hi, Becca.
I'm not like the voice you do. Just want to say that.
I just want to say that. Anyway, I have a very special story. Now, do we want to change the name of the school or the name of the person for the story? Because this is a weird story.
Change the name of the person. School, they deserve the bad flack.
I say we make up fake names for both.
All right.
The School of Holy
Xavier.
Love. The School of Holy Love. That's what we'll call it.
All right.
And what should we name? What's a weird name we can replace?
Priscilla.
I don't want to say that name over and over again.
Gandalf. We just call her Gandalf all the time before we knew her name.
Okay, so I started going to school, the School of Holy Love, and found myself,
This over here.
thank you, Daniel struggling with his corn dog condom.
Wrapper, not a condom. Not everything that covers another thing is called a condom. Dear mercy, you make wrapping presents awful.
That's why I don't wrap them, and I'm bad at it. Anyway, I started going there, and I noticed this lady was a little weird. She would be in this lounge for commuters, people who didn't live on campus, and it was sort of the trailer park of the whole town. If the school became a town, then this would be the sort of rundown part you don't want to be at. They've since made it very nice.
Yes.
At the time when we got there, it was
But
not.
it did have evil scrawled on the wall and pee.
Yeah, there was a whole incident with the pea couch. Long story short, a bunch of film students came in, some of which who had already graduated. They came in, they shot something, and Sam and Dan were not having it, so they sat down and they watched, just to make it awkward. They left. Somehow, while they were in there, the love seat that was one of the few places you could sit that didn't suck, it was still filthy, was completely coated and soaked with urine. It wasn't until our friend Jasmine suggested, the first time I think I'd ever heard her speak, she said, "Why don't you put it in the hallway?" Because I had posted, "Hey, there's a couch covered in pee. Someone take care of it," to the official commuter Facebook page for the School of Holy Love. And they weren't having it. They did nothing. We put it out in the hallway.
Yeah.
I went to class. I put it in the hallway on the way to class.
Minutes or seconds, it was
by the
picked
time
up.
I came back from my 45-minute class, it was gone.
Yeah, within
Even though it had
minutes or
sat,
even
it had been there
seconds.
all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then part of Tuesday. 45 minutes where the non-commuters have to deal with it, and suddenly it's gone. Anyway, this crazy lady, she would microwave things in there and talk to her spoon. The School of Holy Love also has a chapel service, and they have people in the aisles who look like they're doing Harry Potter magic stick fights, but they have
It's flags.
they have tassels at the end, so it's all very special. It looks like a parade, but dumber. Anyway, she's one of those magical samurai that can swing around and do the dance. She talks to her spoons, and one day while I was walking, she said, "What are you up to, Satan?" Now, I thought she's talking to herself again, or maybe she was praying and just had like a bad fart and thought that must be the devil rumbling in my tum-tum. I didn't think much of it. I take 2 steps, I look back, and she's mean mugging me. This is an elderly black lady just glaring at me. Anyway, I'm a little weirded out by it. It turns out she said some other things to other people too. One day, we're sitting there with our friend Bear on the couch, looking at pictures and videos and gifs of fluffy miniature cows.
Yes, because I fell down a rabbit hole and drove everyone else with me.
Yeah, and it wasn't really planned. It just sort of happened. It's one of those things that happens on the internet. Meanwhile, crazy lady enters. What, we're calling her Gandalf? Gandalf enters the scene. She walks up. She sees all of us laughing, looking at this thing. Now, I'm going to take a brief pause here. I'm going to ask, what do you, the listener, think of you walked into a room at a religious college, people are laughing together on a couch, looking at someone's phone. What is the first thing that comes to your mind they must be looking at? I'll give you a moment now to think. You've thought about it? Good. Daniel, what do you think would be a normal thing to say?
Like, seeing people laughing is like, it'd probably be, hey, what are you watching? Or how I typically say it, do I want to know what you're looking at?
Yeah, I would have assumed, it must be YouTube. Must be like a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Sam, if you walked into a room at a religious college and you saw people laughing at a cell phone, what would you assume people were laughing at and watching?
Some sort of funny video, probably.
Could you speak up a little for the people in the back?
Some sort of funny video, probably.
Okay, well, that's not much better.
Some sort of funny video.
This lady turns to us and says, "Y'all watching porn?" We weren't. They were miniature fluffy cows. There was no penetration. They were tiny fluffy cows. But this lady
Only
was...
penetration of our hearts.
And we were like, no, it's cows. Her response, instead of, my mistake, I'm sorry, I've been weird, was, you will. And then she proceeded to tell us how when we get married and we don't get it enough, we'll start watching porn.
We should note, this woman, is, description-wise, she is a
Strange person?
elderly black woman.
Yeah.
Very old, very black.
At that age, you either become very polite or incredibly rude, and she decided to take the route less traveled, which, by the way, that poem, Robert Frost, The Road Less Traveled, at the end of it, they go to the same destination, meaning that the choice didn't mean anything at all, because we all die anyway, so stop acting like you were quirky because you took the road less traveled. It's not what it means. I don't care what the Zack and Cody episode taught everyone. It was a lie. It was a farce. Remember when Zach's in summer school, and then it turns out he's actually the smartest one there, so he becomes the Cody of the group?
Yes, and they all throw a paper at him. He's like, you guys better pick that up. Oh no, I am the nerd.
He gets the atomic wedgie.
Yes.
But then he learns to embrace the fact that you can be smart too, and it's not lame.
Yeah. There's a lot of important lessons in that show. Regardless,
I'm glad we took a Zack and Cody poetry break to analyze that.
Yeah.
Brought to you by sports.
Also, I do love the whole, like, see me in 15 years or something like that, and now they actually did take a picture with the actress who played Maddie. And they're like, she's shorter than them now. And it's so weird.
I just don't like that, who's the one who was Cody? What's his name? Cole Sprouse. He plays Jughead, and he just dresses the way I did in high school and acts the way I did in high school. I mean, he's getting laid a lot more. But girls are like, oh my gosh, Jughead's so cute. I'm like, that's how I looked in high school. I had the raccoon eyes too, where I looked dead inside. I didn't like anyone, and guess what? It didn't make me cool. It was cringy and bad.
Yeah, also, Jughead kind of dresses like a lesbian.
Well, apparently so did I.
Denim jacket, beanie.
Hey, back then that wasn't the lesbian thing. That was just the loser thing. So I did
You're
it.
saying you gender swapped him, you would not have changed the outfit at all.
Back to our insane Gandalf story. You will. You'll watch it. Now, at this point, I discover the Veteran Lounge, so I start staying in the Veteran Lounge, which is adjacent to it. So I don't have to share any room with them, microwave a lot less people. Turns out veterans don't like talking to other people, so you don't even have to make small talk. It's wonderful. I start getting Sam and Dan to start hanging out in there a little bit more. We come back. Suddenly, there's this strange woman walking around only wearing white, carrying around a suitcase instead of a backpack. At first, I'm thinking, that's
also,
efficient.
Shaved head.
Yeah, fully shaved head. As a reference to something we talked about earlier, Ikora from Destiny 2, also a black lady with a shaved head, also as obsessed with magic and the unknown, far less insane.
Yeah.
Because she lives in a world where, like, it makes sense. Anyway, this person is even more insane. Smells bad, cooks gross food, does just the strangest things, and I don't really have to see on a regular basis, so I don't think much of it. Mm-hmm. And then we get information from someone we know who works for the school, and they say, hey, we're getting death threats to the president from someone with this name. I'm
the
like,
president of the university. No.
Yeah, no, not the president. When he was like the president, I was like, whoa.
And also,
the call's going to the wrong place.
I believe they were heading towards someone in financial.
Yeah, they were also threatening the person in financial aid. They like, I know where you live. I know where your kids go to school. All creepy things.
Yeah, and actually, as far as saying, I would kill those people.
Oh yeah, no, it quickly evolved into death threats, murderous rampage.
And there was a police report. Police did ask for those recordings.
Now there's people who have to work part of their job now includes every time this person calls multiple times a day from burner numbers and burner phones, they have to log that number and add it to the system so it's automatically blocked, because the president and multiple people in financial aid and their loved ones have been threatened by the psychopath because she owes money to the school.
And so they won't let her re-enroll.
Yeah, so they won't let her re-enroll. And I had a situation like that happen where the school was like, hey, do you want student loans? I'm like, no, I look into my account, I only owe you like $200. I'll just pay $200. No big deal. And they're like, oh, we'd already accredited you loans, so now you owe us $6,000, which is very different. And so I'm trying to fix that. School starts for me in like 2 days. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go, which sucks. And it's a whole mess. And I'm not making death threats to anyone. I'm just thinking, I wish I could graduate at a different school.
Yeah, and I think, the religious Christian way to look at it, as the school would infer it, would be, oh, well, maybe this is God giving me a sign. Maybe this is God's plan.
Or they would just be like, hey, this guy has GI benefits. I get way more money if I just help him with this thing that we screwed up in the first place. I got refused to be let in to the main offices because they were having a cupcake party during work hours. They didn't see me because they were eating fucking cupcakes. I didn't kill anyone. Kind of wanted to swear at him, but I didn't call anyone. I didn't start making death threats. I'm thinking, this is crazy. I'm like, hey, Jasmine, our friend from the pea couch incident.
Yeah.
You were in the commuter lounge longer than us. Is this the name of that person who wore white every day? The same white flowy cloak every day.
Is Gandalf the person who wore white?
Yeah, hence the nickname. They said, yes. I'm like, wow, that's like the second crazy person I met in there, other than this crazy old lady who asked if we were watching porn. She said, oh no, because she had been the other day. That's the same person. She came back from break one day, having shaved her head and gone crazier.
Yeah, changed her name.
She changed her name?
Yeah, she
she went from Gandalf to Greater Gandalf the White. Come on.
Well, no, she once had a very normal name, and then she came back with sort of her Hindu...
That's what that name was? I thought it was a stupid name.
It was like her Egyptian, name or whatever.
It's the name that her ancestors would have wanted her to have.
Yeah, it's like...
I don't know.
It's like a Hebrew name, I think.
I'm going to say, again, the transition from, hey, how much alcohol did you drink last night in the army, to, oh my gosh, I just feel the Lord moving in me so much, I just can't stop pooping, though. Like, everything has to be in an emotional breakdown that you laugh and cry over. And I'll say that some of the instability probably comes from, hey, you're failing this class. Your parents are paying for this. You may never achieve anything in life. 10 minutes later, you better be praising Jesus. Yeah. That's a roller coaster of emotion that is just a perfect way to set up emotional instability.
You took out loans you don't know how you're going to pay for. And also, your major is art. Yeah. Have fun with that.
It's a stressful scenario. This is an adult, though. Like, she's been around the earth for a while. Apparently Middle Earth, even. And she walks around in a white, flowy... I'm not joking. A white set of, flowy Morgan Freeman as God type clothes every day.
Yeah,
only wears white. Yeah, bleached all of her clothes white so that she could do this.
Not white, just straight up blinding snow white.
Like Colgate teeth in a commercial white. Like, watches Friends on repeat white.
Like, watches every episode of Everybody Loves Raymond intentionally white.
Like any main character in a Hallmark movie, white.
Full House.
Looks pretty adjacent. What we're saying is she wears a lot of white clothes. We're talking lava hot. That's the Mr. Trans Theater joke. Don't worry about it. She wears white a lot. She's a strange person. She claimed I was the devil, which at first I was like, man, I'm putting off some bad vibes. No, she's just crazy. Yeah. She talks to spoons, not just imaginary friend, gets mad at when the spoon is saying something back to her. I'm not joking. Did that one time. She, for all we know, was the pea from the pea couch. We've never thought of that angle before. She could have been the urinator.
Holy crap.
I bet someone was I bet she saw two kids sitting there kissing. She's like, y'all should be watching porn instead. And they just peed so they couldn't make out there. I have no proof, but I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, we have no proof that that's not true or not the case, but all the evidence does seem to lean as the primary suspect.
I say it's more likely that she peed there than Epstein committed suicide in prison the night that his guards left 3 hours early and the security footage left. I'm just saying, one story is being pushed by mainstream media, the other one is my conspiracy theory, and mine seems more real. Anyway, that's the story of Gandalf the Insane from the School of Holy Love. and was one of the first people that we really encountered on the regular in this place, and I think it really set the tone for what our lives would become.
Yeah.
I sometimes think, I met someone great at that school. I've married her now, but did I choose the wrong woman? Should it have been Gandalf the White? Oh my god. I'm just imagining all the weird, demented things she does, like, to her spouse.
I can't prove for one thing that her spouse is not a skeleton sitting on the couch.
How do we know she was actually ever married? What if she made it up? What if she just liked a guy and was obsessed? What if it was like a K-pop band? Which now brings me to the question that I wanted to ask Sam from a previous one. Sam, you're locked in an octagon. A fully rostered K-pop band appears in front of you. They have soft, delicate skin and are very effeminate. You know, they're not meant for battle. How many of them do you think you can take down before they swarm you and start beating you with their tiny, identical soft fists?
All of them.
We're looking at an initial roster of like 5 to 8, probably.
All of them.
Get close to the mic. Tell us how you feel.
All of them.
Imagine it's Nazi zombies, like infinite waves. I want you to do the math in this.
All of them.
And there you have it. This has been the story of Gandalf the Crazy from the School of Holy Love and Sam's official rating of how many Korean K-pop boy band members he could destroy. How many was it again, Sam?
All of them.
Yeah, it was.